Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Okay, today's episode is going to be about a question that I got that I thought would be really good to just address on one video because it was originally submitted for Q&A Tuesday, but I said this one is really interesting. We're going to be talking about inpatient versus outpatient. Which should you become? Should you try to shoot for one over the other? What is the difference? And I've done a video on this before, but I haven't done it recently, and I know that there's over 200 videos currently, so it makes going back a little bit difficult. I will try to link some of the ones that I had from before in this video, so that way you can watch them whenever you have a chance. And also, if you should concentrate on one specialty, should you try to be a specialty coder? What's the deal there? Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about inpatient versus outpatient. In some facilities, in some settings, outpatient is going to dominate inpatient. And it's going to be vice versa. Inpatient is going to dominate the outpatient. As far as like which one is more, depending on where you are and depending on what the setting is. As far as which one you should choose to be, of course, we all know with the outpatient setting, it's all about the CPT book. In the inpatient setting, you're looking at the PCS book. You're looking at building the codes for the procedures that are performed inpatient when the patient is staying in the hospital. On the outpatient side, I think it's easier with the CPT book because you can just look it up and it's just one code. It's the same code, but some people disagree and they say that inpatient is much easier. It really is going to depend on where and who trained you as far as like how your grasp of each. When I went to my trade school, we were doing this all on our own. And so everything was just self-taught pretty much when it came to learning, the differences between the two. I know a little bit about inpatient, very little. My entire career has been spent coding for the outpatient side of the house because that was what I learned when I was in school. It was primarily just to get going in the field. And then if I wanted to become more specialized as far as being able to code for inpatient, then I could sit for another credential. So here's the thing. It's going to depend on where you were trained. Obviously, if you were trained more for the outpatient side, it's going to be a little more difficult if you don't know anything about the inpatient side of the house, okay? You always want to set yourself up for success. As far as deciding which one, though, if you've been trained for both inpatient and outpatient, whichever I would suggest, in just my opinion now, okay, whichever one you feel more comfortable coding as far as like inpatient or outpatient, you should go for that one. It's really going to be up to you. And as far as like if you should be more specialized, if you should try to be a more specialized coder as far as like in a particular specialty like orthopedics, podiatry, rheumatology, neurology, that kind of thing, I would suggest in the beginning, if you are just starting out, to be just a jack of all trades, okay? Concentrate on whatever clinic they're putting you in. Say yes to whatever they're putting you in. If they're going to tell you you are just a brand new coder and you've shown up for your first day of clinic and they say, well, we're going to put you in cardiology. Great, go for it. Say yes. That is the biggest thing in the beginning. Don't resist when they're telling you you have to learn something new, especially being a new coder. It is going to benefit you tenfold if you are willing to just go with anything in the beginning. So my first job was at a cancer therapy research center. So I had oncology to code. Well, oncology, there's a lot of things that go with oncology. Like a lot of the co-conditions that the patients have covers a wide range of specialties. So that was where having that experience with them initially got me used to the respiratory, orthopedics, and rheumatology. It got me familiar with those specialties because there were so many of those co-conditions those patients had. So doing that on top of with oncology really did give me a quick learn fast. So after a while, you start to learn different things. And as I moved on in my second position, I was working for Inpatient Professional Services, which is outpatient, but it is inpatient. So I would code for procedures that were done, but I would use a CPT book, and I would code for their evaluation and management services, also using the CPT book. And I would code, like, as far as like the diagnosis selection, I would use the outpatient rules basically when the patient is in-house, because what I was doing was covering for the provider who was making their rounds on the floor. Okay, so for their professional side is what I was doing. That was the basis of that coding. So it gets a little hinky. Okay, and then there's other coders that take care of the patients that are in-house, and they are all the facility charges and things like that. Basically everything, all the statistical stuff is also going with them on the inpatient side. So they have like all DRGs and things like that is what I mean. So theirs is completely separate, and the rules are a little bit different, okay? Because they're a little bit more lax when it comes to suspected. Whereas on the outpatient side, you see suspected, no, we can only code what is definitive. Whereas on the inpatient side, you're coding basically what the provider is thinking it is and what are they treating. So again, different rules. And if you have been trained inpatient or outpatient, just think about which one you feel more comfortable with, whether you feel comfortable with the PCS book or whether you feel comfortable with the CPT book. Either way, just check it out and see which one you like. There's really no roadmap when it comes to starting out as a brand new medical coder and deciding which one, inpatient or outpatient, to do. To me, the outpatient side is easier. Some people will disagree and they'll say, oh no, inpatient is much more easier. With outpatient, we're coding individual encounters, okay, with a patient. And with inpatient, they are taking the entire stay and coding it all at one time. So there's no like daily thing. Like if a patient comes daily, like on the outpatient side, then we would be coding those encounters every single day. Whereas on the inpatient side, we are looking at the entire visit altogether and coding it at one time. So it could be a 3-day stay. It could be a 20-day hospital stay. I mean, there's really no way to know how long the patient's going to be inpatient in a hospital. So my advice is whichever one you like, whichever one you think is more comfortable for you. Some people feel more confident coding CPT and procedures, and some people feel more confident building the codes and the PCS side. Although, like I said, my inpatient knowledge is very limited. So PCS coding was something that was really like, wow. So I had to like really wrap my head around that when I was getting training for inpatient. So, like I said, it's just really all going to depend on, which one you like. I enjoy the outpatient setting. Like I said, no experience with the inpatient side. So that's where, maybe the disconnect comes from. So I don't know. But yeah. And like I said, always say yes to whatever they're going to put you in. If they want to put you in family practice, be excited about it and say yes, okay, and accept that challenge. And then if they pull you out and say, we're going to put you in the pain clinic, all right, good, let's do this. Have a positive attitude, because it's all going to be about learning. And especially when you first start out, you are going to be taking those hits, okay? The great thing about like when you're working is, and I don't know obviously every single place, but every place that I've worked has always allowed for a ramp up period. They put me in a new clinic. They give me 3 months, 90 days to get myself together and pick up speed and get going. Now, obviously, I don't really have to have that too much anymore because I am a seasoned coder. So just really, I mean, knowing how to look in the guidelines for that particular specialty will really help. The base thing is having the base knowledge of how to medical code. If you have your base knowledge down, you literally can be dropped anywhere in any clinic and be able to pick it up. I mean, that's the way it is. You will start to learn things faster. Things will start to pick up for you. It just depends on how willing you are and how open you are to learning new things. I always say the more open you are to learning things, the better off you'll be, because there's no barrier. When you have that barrier and there's that barrier there, it just makes things, oh, you're like, but if you are willing and say, okay, I may not get this, but it's all right, I'm just going to keep on trying, then you'll eventually get it. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it on that one. But yeah, but you're talking to a very, very biased medical coder. I love medical coding. So, I mean, take it for what it is, you know. Anyway, but that's my advice on that one. Just go wherever you're most comfortable and then look for those positions for that that setting. You know, that would be what I would suggest. Okay. Also, I hope you guys have noticed in the community tab, I put the Quiz Friday questions in the community tab. We'll be discussing the answers on Answer Monday. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be around all weekend long. And I'm still filming other episodes today. So anyway, I will be catching y'all on the next video. I do have plans for a couple more videos today. I don't know if I'll post them tonight or I might just post them tomorrow. Let me know if you guys, like I said, have any questions. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at codingwithbleu, BLEU. I'm also on Instagram at medicalcodingwithbleu, all one word. And yeah, that's it. And I will be leaving my email address down in the description box below. So if you have any questions, there it is. All right, I'll see y'all on the next episode. Bye.